Alright, so in this video we'll run our UDP server that we coded in our previous video on the FPGA board. Now you might have noticed that we coded the C program on our laptop, so we have to run it on the FPGA board. So the problem is that the Linux distribution in the Linux OS in the FPGA board is a very stripped down version. It does not have a C compiler or a Python installation. So the easiest way that I could find is that to compile it on Windows on the laptop and then send it to the FPGA board through the Ethernet connection that we set up previously, right? So to do that, first let's first we have to have WSL installed on our uh, laptop. So make sure that you have done it previously. There are plenty of videos and it's a very simple setup. So after you have installed WSL, so then in Windows, you come into the folder that you have like stored your UDP server program and you open that folder in terminal, right? So a PowerShell terminal will open up. Now in there, you're in the proper folder, right? So you have to enter WSL. All right, so now we are in the same folder, but we are now in the WSL operating system, right? So in order to, let's actually go into the folder. All right, so in order to compile the UDP server, we have to use a specific compiler, and that's the ARM64 compiler toolchain for Linux, right? So let's install that. So first you enter sudo apt update. All right, and then enter sudo apt install. It's install gcc dash aarch64 dash linux dash gnu. All right, make sure the spelling is correct. So now I have already installed it, so my messages will be different from you, but you'll make sure that you know it's properly installed. So mine is already installed. So once you have installed it, now in order to compile, now make sure that you're in the folder that the C file is stored in. That's why we opened the terminal from this here before and entered WSL there, so it's easier. So make sure that you're in the folder with the C file and run the following: aarch64 dash linux dash gnu dash gcc, and the file C file udp underscore server.c, and the output name as udp underscore server. So all right, so yeah, so there's a whole bunch of errors here. uh, let's correct them one by one. This is a good experience, right? So to do that, let's open, I wonder, can we open code VS Code from here? Oh, how do you know? You can. All right, that's good. So it's struct, not stucked. Where is that error? Number 19. All right, struct. A lot of stucks here. So all right, never mind. Let's try running it again and see if it's properly fixed. Alright, I completely apologized. I have made a whole bunch of errors in the code, and I'll probably have to add some notes on the previous video so to inform the errors. Alright, so the first one that I found was here. It should be size underscore t. Alright, here. So we have just provided the client address, and that's not correct. We have to give it a pointer, right? So it should be the address of the client address struct. And the other thing is these functions inet, entoa, nh, uh, ntohs, and where's the other one? This inet piton. So all those functions they belong to the APA slash inet.h. And also we have used the close function, closing the socket. So that belongs to the hashtag include unistd.h. Okay, and here the message, put a new line there. All right, let's see, try compile that now. Hmm? Oh, it's printf. Not, this is not Python, for God's sake. All right, and thank God. Okay, so yeah, now that let's actually see if it's compiled. Yeah, so it's here. So now we have to transfer this file to the FPGA. All right, uh, to send the actual executable to the FPGA, we use the SCP protocol. So we use the SCP protocol, SCP underscore. Okay, so make sure that the FPGA is properly connected and the Ethernet connection is all set up and everything is working from the previous videos, and make sure all that's set up before doing this. SCP UDP underscore server, and the FPGA's username, it's Terasic. If you have a different username, make sure to enter that at the IP address 10.10.10.100, and the location. So the only location that we have access to is the slash temp slash location. So if you try to send it to another location like the home directory, you might not get access, right? So this is the easiest way. So it's slash tmp slash. All right. And they'll ask for this. Let's type yes. And they're asking for the password of the FPGA. So let's enter that. And it's successful. All right. So now let's open up the terminal of the FPGA through PuTTY. I have a previous set connect. I have a terminal from our previous tutorial here. So let's go into the slash temp file, slash tmp. So as you can see, we have the UDP server here. So now let's move this into somewhere else. Okay, so mv udp server. Oh yeah, we have to move it because this is slash temp, as the name suggests, is temporary. So if we want to keep it, we have to move it somewhere else for safety. No, not safety, it won't be deleted. So moves udp server, so slash, okay, slash home slash terasic slash I had made a folder called udp server previously. Otherwise you can just send it to the home directory, it's fine. So since I already made a folder called udp server, I'm going to just put it into that. And let's go into slash home slash terasix slash UDP server, and as you can see, the UDP server is moved there. So this you should ignore that, because of initially I didn't know that there was a compiler was not available for the FPGA board, so I just straight up coded it there when it didn't work. So here we are. So I'll just remove it. All right. So yeah. So this is what it would look like to you. And now let's run it and see if it's working. So first of all, you should make it an executable. So right now it's not. So to make it an executable, you run chmod +x udp underscore server. All right, and now let's run it /udp underscore server. Hopefully it's working. I mean, it seems to be running, so I guess I haven't. I should have put like some kind of print statement to say that it's up and running, but I guess it's fine. So next we'll type up a small Python program on our laptop so we can send packets. All right, see you there.